Tudo bom, everyone? My name is Joe Lyon. Welcome to another episode of Portuguese Online. Today we're going to talk about pronouns. Pronouns are extremely important, and they basically are the starters of the sentence. They basically say where the sentence is going. Now again, like we said in previous videos, if you don't know what a pronoun is, it is very important that you know. I like using the Schoolhouse Rock videos. They're pretty funny, and they have one for pronouns. It's quite good. You should watch it. So to fully understand and analyze what pronouns are, we're going to have to separate them into categories. Now, out of many categories, we're going to talk about two of them. The first one is singular, and the other is plural. Now, singular is basically what it sounds like. It's just one person. Like, for instance, I. If I say I, that means that there is only one person involved with whatever you're saying. But let's say that we're talking about we. No longer am I talking about one individual, which is myself. It is actually many individuals. It could be me and my sister and my grandma and my friend. There are more people, so therefore it is plural, and therefore the grammar of the sentence changes. Now, along with this, there are other categories that we'll mention. And there are three of these types. There's the first person, the second person, and as you can probably guess, there's the third person. First person is basically the person who is speaking. So for instance, if I was speaking, that is first person. I'm talking about myself. So the second person is the person being spoken to, not the narrator of the story, but the person who is receiving the narration. And the third person is anyone who is not receiving the spoken word or the person who is actually speaking. So it is not you, it is not me, it is that person way over there outside of the conversation. Now with these 5 categories in mind, we can arrange them into a nice little grid. And this is going to help us considerably in learning verbs and also verb conjugations later on, and also our current lesson, the pronouns. So let's put the singular category up here along with its mate, the plural. How do you spell plural? Plural. Sure. Now on the side we're going to put the first and the second and the third person. And then we're going to make a nice little grid with these lines. And I love this whiteboard. And there you go, we have our grid defining the different categories of a pronoun. Now this is probably going to be hard to see, so I'm going to zoom in the camera right here, pull this massive table. Okay, I feel kind of claustrophobic, but hopefully this angle helps. So the pronoun that fits into the singular first person is I in the English language. Now this makes sense if you think about it, because it is the first person, it is the person speaking, and also there is only one person. However, if there ended up being more than one speaker, more than myself, we change that to the plural, and it ends up being we. Now let's say that I was talking to you, you're the person being spoken to, and there's only one of you, so therefore the singular form of the second person is you. However, if more people were to join that group and I had to speak to multiple people of you, you use the plural form of you. Now this changes from place to place in the English language. In the South they use y'all, in many places they use you all. However, a very common one that they use is you guys. Now the third person in the singular form is a little unusual, and that's because there is a difference between the female and the male. If there is one male that we were talking about that wasn't involved with this conversation, we would use the pronoun he. Now if that person was a female, obviously we would use she. And if it was an inanimate object, we would use the pronoun it. Now once you get to the plural, it doesn't really matter what gender that group is. It could be a group of guys, it can be a group of girls, it could be a group of guys and girls, so we just simplify it by saying they. And there you have it. These are the 6 categories of the pronouns. Now we're actually going to use this to learn the Portuguese pronouns because they work in a similar way. I'm just going to delete here in between the lines. So we said that the singular first person is I. In Portuguese that means eu. Now in diphthongs we actually talked about this sound. Even though there are 2 vowels in this word, it is still only one sound. Eu. You, which is the singular second, is translated into você. Now I'm going to say that again because I was talking into the whiteboard. Você. He, the singular third person, is ele. Now there are several ways that you can remember this. You can think of jelly without the J, or you can think of belly without the B, or you can think of Nelly without the N. You can think of it however way you like. She is very similar. It's basically the same thing, just with an A at the end. So instead of Ellie, as in he, it's Ella. And it, we're not going to worry about that, because that's a little bit more complicated. We'll talk about it in a later video. We translates to nós. Now in some places in Brazil it is actually nós, however just concentrate on the nós. So you guys, which is the plural of the second person, is very similar to the singular of the second person, você, and all you have to do is add an S. So instead of você as in you, it is vocês as in you guys. Now in English, the plural third form, it doesn't really matter what the gender is. I mean, it could be a group of guys, a group of girls, so we just use they regardless of the gender. But in Portuguese, it does matter. If it is a group of guys, you use the he form, except with an S, and that is eles. However, if it is a group of girls, it would be much better saying elas, which is she with an S at the end. Now many people wonder, what if it's a group of half guys, half girls? What would we use then? And you would just use the masculine form, eles. And there you have it. Those are the Portuguese pronouns. Now these pronouns are extremely important to know because they influence a lot of other lessons later on in this channel and later on in the Portuguese language. So because of this, we're going to have these be today's vocab words. Make sure that all of these are memorized and ingrained into your head by the time you watch the next video because they will play a part. So to review these words, there's eu, which is I, você, which is you, ele, which is he, ela, which is she, nós, or nós, which is we, vocês, which means you guys, eles, which is the masculine form of they, and elas, which is the feminine version of they. Now that you know that, I'm just going to back up a little bit. Well, I hope this was beneficial for you. I hope you learned a lot today. Next time we're going to apply these and use them with verbs. So make sure that you memorize these along with the other words that we used in previous videos. So we hope you enjoyed this video. Good luck with your learning and memorization, and take care. Ciao.